Hey, welcome to
the end.
The end. Welcome to the last CrossFit 310 Open Show
recap
extravaganza. Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
Not this, but
yes,
the workout.
Well, this was fun too. I had a blast doing this with you.
Cool.
We have yet to figure out if more than 2 people have ever seen this. But we're
not
having
including
a blast.
us.
Yeah, that's what I know. We've watched it. Okay.
I made my kid watch it.
So we are here for the last show. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. We've been so excited to do this because we got like a bunch of gifts inside of the last workout.
Wait.
Yes.
Points.
Right. Well, I wasn't just going to.
I thought you're jumping ahead.
No, but part of the gift that we got at CrossFit 310 was we decided 4 points on the last week that we were going to do theme.
Oh, yeah.
Like to get points, you could have a theme and have your, some sort of
team theme. Yeah.
Ours for the AM was as simple as mustache.
Mustache
right?
Movember.
And you could bling it out any way that you want. You could just do a mustache, or you could, I had a whole thing happening.
You actually had a real mustache. I don't know how you grew that in one day, but it was pretty amazing.
Is it PR? No.
Didn't know that's how it worked.
But it was, and then the class, I had an idea of what I was going to wear, and then the class finished. I was like, you want me to wear that? And they were like, yes. And it was, you see a picture of that. It's
horrible.
The least flattering thing anybody has ever put on a man.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It was great.
And Team PM,
yeah, they were fun.
They were the team winners.
Yes, very
that was
presumptuous.
Very presumptuous, but I like it. I like that,
They were super funny.
They came in, they all had medals on. They posed for their, Stanley Cup or
it was
World Cup.
How did Lainey get all those medals? Lainey had a box of medals.
Yeah, that's what she does. She's a medal winner.
Okay.
So she brought it for Team PM, and they had their little pick with their, chewing the gold medal.
Testing.
Biting the gold medal,
Yeah, I thought it was fun. It was simple. Both were fun and simple and something to do with our teams.
Rally.
I thought it was great. So...
A lot of points to be had.
What happened with the teams?
We had the points for the team theme, so you got points for that. And it didn't matter if you were in the AM photo or the PM photo. If you were in the photo, you got points. Doing the WOD, PRs, and checking in, and then the team theme. And we actually only had one PR. And we're going to talk about that later.
There was only one
only one PR. Paolo, our boy Paolo, got his muscle up in the WOD. Yeah. So anyway, final tally of points. Team AM takes it 326 to 307 by 15 points.
Yeah, which was an interesting thing.
Yeah. So we had a little switch up in the winners of the divisions this week, and we're going to definitely talk about that. But the winners were DJ once again won the RX for the guys.
Mr. Number One. He asked me to call him that.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, DJ says,
I
know. He says, you can call me Number One.
Yeah. Okay.
Unbelievable.
DJ. Jeez. Jill. Sorry, that's myself. I'll take the T-shirt too. That you.
Tell me more about this Jill.
Anyway, I won the RX. But usually PM was taking the other 2 categories, scaled men, scaled women. But this week, Aga took scaled women, and Chris Cannon took it for the scaled men. So we had a 15 points that we don't usually have. So that was a big help for us. And we were only coming into this last WOD, we were only 2 points separated. So that was the decider.
So here's a fun talk about this thing, because listen, there could have been people doing scaled in PM, but they went RX inside of it, and it was when we get to Paul Holtshoe and his story, and he'd been doing all scaled, and he didn't. So we just want to tip our hat to this, that we won by 15, right? And there was this swing of RX to PR.
Let's talk about 20.5.
Yeah, okay, let's
talk about it. So it came out. I was watching the TV, and I see the list of things.
Yeah,
And
what is
the
what
very
is it?
first
Describe
list,
it. Yeah.
I was like, 40 muscle ups. Nathan's all, that's it, not doing the workout. I'm like, what? They put it first? That's unbelievable. And we were having our little pity party,
Can you
on the couch.
imagine all of the world that was watching that? Everyone was like, unbelievable. I quit
Well,
CrossFit.
plus I didn't start it from the beginning. I came in. I was just looking at the list, and then I was like getting all mad, and Nathan's getting all. And
I bet so. Can you imagine?
he's like, good. I don't want to do it anyway. And then
do it with the accent.
And then.
Come
No,
on.
because there's too many expletives when you do the accent. You got it makes it part of the color commentary. Anywho, so then I pay attention, like reading the whiteboard or something. Oh, I can do it in any order. Right on. And Nathan's like, oh, perfect. I'm not doing them, but I'm doing the workout. And so then,
Now I'm doing it. Terrible, I know.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. And so everybody got kind of excited, because once again, it was 20 minutes, which I was blown away that they were doing another 20-minute workout. I don't want to say anything, but I guess that's my mojo. That's my jam, 20 minutes. So I was sadly happy.
Yeah.
I don't really like 20 minutes, but
you're good at it.
Apparently I
you
can do it,
literally,
yeah.
you're a paddler. Nathan's a paddler.
Right.
You literally
Same with
train
Nathan.
most of the year to be in this long endurance
painful
state.
and just like it and stay there.
Yeah, it's a super
So it
gift
was
for
20
you.
minutes again, and it was these things that we all know how to do, rowing and wall balls. And we were talking about that, how they hadn't come up yet. But man, I thought for sure there was going to be overhead squats or something that would really make me
Go
cry.
after you, yeah.
And here we go, 20 minutes, any way you want, and that is new.
That is the gift that was so intriguing about this thing,
right?
Because it really opened up. Like one of the things that we have a hard time with is, if only it was this way, then I could do, then I'd be great at this one. And so it really opened up the creativity of athletes and coaches. Like we got to really dial in, well, you're like this. You may think about doing this first and
it
then
wasn't
going
a
into
formula
this.
that was set for everybody.
Mm-mm.
That's the thing. Like, my way of doing it was completely different from your way of doing it versus, it just depended on your strengths and weaknesses. And that's what made it so interesting. And everyone was like, how'd you do it? How'd you do it? How'd you do it?
Yep. And
it was cool.
Yeah. And there's
really
some of us, some athletes are thinking, okay, I'm going to do it this way. And then somebody else was like, well, have you thought about, doing it this way? And it changes everything. Like so
let's talk about the two extremes because we had a couple.
Yeah, we did. Like, what'd we see inside of the gym?
So initially, people were talking about how most of us were not going to do the muscle ups, and I really want to talk about the people that did muscle ups because it's super cool. But most of us weren't. So we were thinking like, how fast can we do 120 wall balls and 80-calorie row? So one extreme is my husband. Just go hard. As Mark would say.
That was terrible too.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, I said it like Mark. He did 120 wall balls, and then he went to the rower and did 80 calories.
Yeah.
He was the fastest guy in the gym.
Yep. So at
10:42.
10:42. But what was really interesting, so everyone's like, whoa, that's an incredible thing. And because he was the fastest inside of the gym. So this is also, by the way, if you're watching, no muscle ups. It's just.
He didn't do any muscle ups. Yeah, he's going for the tie break time.
So it's the 200 reps tie break time. And this dude's really good at rowing, and he's really good at wall balls. So for him, he's like, I'm just going to do them all. But
plus he's a meathead, and he didn't want to have to keep count and wonder how many he had left. He was like,
even though he's got a counter. And anyway, so but what's really interesting, and I knew he told me his time, which was amazing.
Yeah.
But then I knew that he probably didn't choose the best way or even the fastest way.
And he did come back and say, I could probably get sub 10 if I broke it a couple times.
Yeah.
For his energy system, right?
Sure.
He did not want to stay in that rower that long.
Yeah, which is how I knew, because 80 calories for him is not a long or painful thing. So that means that he just desolated himself with those wall balls.
Now on the flip side, we had people like Paul Holschutz, and I don't even know how Anil did it, but those are the next two fastest guys on the tie break. They were at 13. Anil Anil at 13:07, and Paul was at 13:14.
Paul Holtz right behind.
Right. They did it at the same time, so they weren't like comparing, strategies necessarily.
Wait,
who
did it at the same time?
Paul and Nath.
Oh, Paul and Nathan. Yeah, for sure.
So they weren't comparing strategies. They chose different strategies on purpose.
Yep.
And you were a big indicator for that, for Paul to tell him how he needs to do this to get through. And his strategy was?
His strategy was 8 rounds of 10 and 15. So 10
Small
calories
chunks.
and 15. We started with the wall balls, small chunks, right? And yeah, really the strategy was, okay, we're going to see how you do. We're going to feel it out for 4 rounds. You're going to try to hurt for 2 rounds so that you can have the freedom to choose in the last round. He just played it so well. It was the most mature that I've ever seen him be inside of a work.
And did you see his little foot?
Smart.
He had his little outline feet. It was so cute. His little feet. Put your feet there. I love it.
Cute. Yeah. It was
He was a
amazing.
machine. He went boom,
He was
boom,
awesome.
boom, boom.
And he was so confident in where he was that he chose to switch it up. Actually, in the last 2 rounds, he stayed on wall balls and did 20 and then 20 so he could go hard on the row at the end. Which is exactly right. Like, he freed himself up for a choice at the end.
Right. It was amazing.
Yep.
And that was a cool, difference in, a showcase of the difference in strategy and why, right?
Right.
On the women's side, Jeannie had the fastest tiebreak time for the women at 12:02, followed by Kat at 12, I think 14 is what we said, right? Does that sound right?
I think it was. I can't remember. She's right behind her.
Right. And they did similar. Like, Jeannie was doing big chunks, 30s and 20s, you know, trying to minimize transition time. She has the engine to do a bigger amount of wall balls and a bigger amount of rowing. And I think Kat was along those same lines too. Jeannie probably had the edge on her in rowing, but they hammered. And they, even Kat was like, I don't think I'm breathing hard enough. I should redo this one. I'm like, you're crazy.
It was great. It was 2 strong moves for Jeannie.
Yeah.
She's such a great athlete. She's really tough. And were you counting for her?
No.
Oh,
maybe.
Maybe you weren't
I was
in the room.
there.
Anyway, you're
watching.
a good coach. You're always a good coach around her.
Right.
But it was like those 2 are so fun inside of this.
Yeah.
And again,
I'm not sure Kat knew Jeannie was ahead of her.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't know if Kat had her eyes on Maytal. And she was like, if Maytal redoes it. Maytal had a tough time. She had a calf pull, and she was going to redo it again. It just didn't feel good, so she didn't redo it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Kat had her eyes on Jeannie or not. It'd be fun.
And then so on the flip side, the guys that had muscle-ups, we had DJ, yourself, Paolo, Jason, and Micah.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure I got all those guys. So that was a little bit of a different game. Like, if you had consecutive muscle-ups, then you had to decide, okay, am I going to get through the muscle-ups and then go to the cardio? Am I going to mix it in?
Yeah.
If I only have one, am I going to do it at the end?
Yeah.
So let's talk about that a little bit.
So here's what was just in a lot of people who've done the WOD before. In past workouts, the muscle up came after
Always
all
at
of
the
this
end.
work.
Yeah.
And so that's what everybody was thinking. They're like, I'm going to do
I'll
all
wait
this
to the
work.
end. I got 5
yeah.
minutes. I'll see if I can
I'll
gut
see
one
how
out.
fast I can go. And we were like, don't do that. Do not do that. Like, it just doesn't go well. It's the messiest efforts ever, and you have the freedom. So, yeah, we talked to everybody. If they didn't know if they could do one, they needed to practice one. So, because we had other people in the gym attempt to get muscle ups. Not everybody got them, but we were like, you're going to give yourself a little time up at the top. If it's going
While
well,
you're fresh.
yeah, right. If you
and
get
firing
one,
and you're not in oxygen debt.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yep. And there was theory inside of all of this, because some people operate better when they are fresh, right, and they can think.
Right.
Other people operate better when they're tired and they don't think. It's such
Hey, that might be me. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So you have to find out who you are in the moment.
So Paolo got his PR, got a muscle up. He did it first. He did a little victory lap. I saw that video.
We should link that video inside
and then
of this.
All happiness gone because then he had to go to the row and wall balls for 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, he was good. He tried to get a couple other ones inside of there and didn't end up getting over the top again. But it was a huge moment.
Did Jason go the beginning or the end?
Jason went at the beginning. I was with him.
Okay.
I was with him. And
what about Micah?
At the beginning,
Okay.
I told all of them, I was like, listen, we just made a game plan. We were like, they're going to finish the workout. I knew that they would finish the 200 reps.
Right.
So I said, let's allot some time. And if it goes well, then we'll figure out when do you go back and try it. And
right.
So.
And DJ and you had some different strategies. So DJ won the RX division. He had 22 muscle-ups in it, and he finished the row and the, what's that thing called? Wall balls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you got 8.
Yep. It was there. What do you?
I can't believe you're that close to DJ. I gotta say, come on.
I was. Yeah.
I'm teasing, but not really.
I was
DJ
very happy
left
to get
some
what I got.
Muscle ups on the board.
He did.
He did
probably.
not front load as many as he maybe could have, should have.
Yeah.
It's easy to look back, right?
Yep.
He thought he could kind of keep mixing them in there, and he said after a while he started failing at the muscle ups towards the end, and he had time.
Yeah, we didn't see, or I didn't.
I was there.
You were there,
I was
but
not judging.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
I
was
him
not
on the floor,
there. Yeah.
Laying down.
Well, so listen, he's got a legitimate thought or demon in the back of his head, right? Because he could front load.
Yeah.
But he's crashed a couple of times in WOD,
right?
We've seen usually.
I was there.
I was there. But so I think that in his head, he wanted to make sure he got those 200 reps in, and he didn't know physically what was going to happen to him. But of course, the thing that we thought, he was going to be able to do it. And he left some reps out there, and he could probably go back in there and get more muscle ups inside of our gym and our game. He didn't need to, so he played it like that. It was good.
The one person I know that did redo it was Jen. We were talking a little bit about, this is why the Open makes it so interesting, is that you take a look at a workout you just did, and you're like, wow, I really did not do that to my potential. And you have a learning moment about your energy expenditure, how you want to set things up, managing your energy. There's a lot of that going on in this workout. When to stop, when to start, when to go, when to, know. And Jen was a little bit blown away the first time about how hard she went into it, doing too big of chunks for what she needed to be doing. Mm-hmm. And I know you talked to her and said, look, you could try it like this, and, she should be able to get through these reps. And she had an opportunity to redo it and did better. And that is that, I don't know if you do that on a regular day of, in the gym doing your WOD. I'm going to redo that because I know I can do it better. We sometimes do redo WODs, but not in this compact thing of directly knowing that you're going to do this differently and learning from that for future reference.
The Open puts things in your head that you would never consider otherwise.
Right.
That is the gift of the Open, and it's actually, it can also be not good. If you are not coached well, you can hear things and it puts things inside of your head that you shouldn't do. You need, what I mean? You need a coach to be like, that's not for you. You should not do that. But when it's appropriate and it absolutely, you're like, oh, I think I can do that.
And real quickly, let's talk about Aga and Lisa Furneaux. Aga won the scale division. Furneaux was right behind her. It was 6 pull-ups to 4 pull-ups.
Oh,
and
man.
Furneaux was doing the old, I should have done some at the beginning.
Yes.
Because she's like, but then she wasn't sure if she could get through it. She had that last minute, she had a plan.
All of that is the right thing. She was thinking through it right. She just knows more now that she was at the end, right? And you don't know. I didn't know when I went in what was going to happen to me.
Right.
So, yeah.
So I, in my division, I was not doing muscle-ups. I was doing chest to bar.
Yeah.
But I decided to get those done with a bunch of wall balls. So I did big chunks. I didn't do any rowing until I was done.
Yeah.
I did a superset of the bar and the wall balls.
Wow.
And then I went to row and wall ball supersetting. So that worked for me. I did big chunks. That's kind of my thing. And Carrie Ray was right behind me with 18:49. I finished in 17:19. So that was
you two going back and forth was so fun. Just the way that you guys interact, especially at this time, is fun. It's just fun.
So on that note, we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 guys doing muscle-ups. I think we need to get a challenge out there, girls.
Do you have something to say to the ladies?
Yeah, we're going to get some muscle-ups in this gym, so just get ready.
We don't have any women in the gym currently who are doing muscle-ups. We've had ladies in the gym who have done muscle-ups
Bar
in the past.
muscle-ups?
That's true. That's true.
We got some bar muscle-ups.
Yep, you got that, and you're open.
Mine's open.
Absolutely.
But that's something that it would be a fun thing to, as a group, try to, dial in and have. So.
Yep. And it starts with gotta get that
raw
strength.
Yeah, raw
strength.
It's not easy. You got to have a plan.
Yep. And I know that I can get people muscle ups if they have enough raw strength.
Yep.
And then we can get them clean and pretty and stuff like that. It's so interesting. It's just this raw strength game. What else? What else is on the thing?
We got to wrap it up.
We do. And listen, people, if you've watched all of this, thank you so much. Like, we know, if you cannot tell, we had so much fun this round. It was different. We engaged each other differently. The teams played differently together. We talked differently. This was different. Like, it was awesome. I had a blast doing this with you, so thank you. That's it. What else?
That's it.
We're just saying goodbye?
Yeah.
Okay, see you guys in the gym. Thank you for watching. This has been the Reopenness.